Hello viewers, welcome to CC Gurukul lectures. I am Dr. Preeti Jagwani from Department of Computer Science, Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. So in this series of our lectures of design and analysis of algorithms, today we are going to introduce a new topic, and that is AVL trees. So in this series we have seen a lot many data structures and their algorithms which are using them and the analysis of those algorithms. So within that series we have one more tree structure, which is AVL trees. It is named after its inventors Edison, Tversky and Landis. Basically, your AVL tree is a self-balancing binary search tree. So this tree being a binary tree, every node can have maximum 2 children nodes, not more than that. And if I am talking about a self-balancing binary search tree, then there must be some balance or balancing factor. So basically, balance here in the AVL trees is determined by the balance factor of a node. So basically, every node is having a balance factor with it, and that balance factor is determining the balance of that particular node. So coming to what actually a self-balanced tree is, or what we have covered under the category of self-balanced trees till this point, we have already seen one self-balanced binary search trees, which are in the form of red-black trees, and apart from red-black trees we have AVL trees, which we are covering today, and one more self-balanced trees is tries. So today we will be going with AVL trees. Now what are the application? Before going into characteristics or before going into details of AVL trees, let us understand those scenarios in which these AVL trees are used. So basically, what is the need or what are the applications in which these AVL trees are used, and why? So basically, the applications which require usage of AVL trees are kind of lookup intensive applications in which more of searching is required to be performed, or we can say database applications in which insertion and deletions are fewer, but there are frequent lookups for data required, or we can say there are frequent searching which is required. Searching is the operation which is more oftenly taking place, but insertion and deletions are fewer. So in these type of applications we will be using AVL trees. Why? I will be covering in a moment. Then other applications like in-memory sorts of sets and dictionaries uses AVL trees heavily. Then all those applications that require improved searching apart from the regular database applications. Wherever the improved searching thing is required, those kinds of applications or usage are using AVL trees. So basically, when I am talking about improved searching requirements, that is basically we can say insertion and deletions or these two operations are going to disturb the balance factor of a particular node, and then it has to be rebalanced because it is a self-balancing binary tree, and because of this balance factor, from wherever you want to search or whichever branch of the tree you want to search, that searching is going to be a kind of we can say less expensive application. Let us understand how. Imagine a binary search tree, a normal binary search tree. All the applications, for example, your insertion, your searching, your deletion, are in the form of, or basically your height, are in the order of their height. But what happens when a binary tree is in the form of a skewed binary tree or having a skewed structure? Skewed structure in the sense all the we can say nodes are on the right side, or all the nodes are on the left side. So what is happening here? Height is going to be, we can say bizarre. Height is going to be out of bounds, or not out of bounds exactly, but yes, how height is going to be, disturbed. It is not balanced. So again, in these type of trees, again, if we want to search something, that is going to take a huge amount of time, because it is, height, it is in the order of height. Now what if we, after every insertion or deletion, whenever there is a disbalance between the heights of left branch and right branch, we will be, we will start balancing them, and we make them, certain, within the certain limits, close to each other. So that balancing is going to take place, and because of that balancing, height is not going to be, we can say skewed. So yes, because of non-skewed height, or we can say a balanced height, we can achieve many operations in an kind of inexpensive ranges. So yes, that is what the fundamental behind balancing is. Or so wherever more of the search is required, we will be using ABL trees, or we can say kind of any balanced binary search trees, because insertion and deletions, if will be more, they will be disturbing the balance factor, and every time we need to rebalance, or every time we need to do the balancing activity. So if searching is more of a requirement, then we will be using self balancing binary trees. And yes, ABL is one of the we can say good example of self balancing binary trees. Now coming to what actually are the characteristics, or how are we going to define balance factor, and so on and so forth. So coming to characteristics of ABL tree, basically, as we have talked about, it is a binary tree. So obviously each node is going to have only maximum 2 children. Each node can carry only one key value. Now coming to the balance factor, we can say height of the child nodes of any node must differ in time by must differ in height by no more than 1. So basically we can say when there is a difference in the height of more than 1 or less than -1 between the child nodes of a particular node, the tree is imbalanced, and in this situation of imbalance, the tree has to go through the process of rebalancing. Now how this rebalancing is done. Please recall that in red black trees we have done rebalancing using the process of recoloration and rotation. So here there is no fundamental of coloring of nodes as it was in red black trees. So here the only activity which is done for maintaining the balance of ABL tree is rotation. So that can be a single rotation, or that can be a series of rotations, but rebalancing involves a series of rotations until your tree is rebalanced again. Now we know that ABL tree is, looking at the definition, we can easily say that ABL tree is another structure supporting order log n search, insertion and deletion. But if it is going to be skewed in the absence of balancing factor, or in the absence of the property of self balancing, this binary tree can be very, very skewed, and this height is kind of, we can say, going bizarre. So coming to how are we going to maintain the balance factor. So balance factor is actually, we can say, the mode of height of left subtree minus height of right subtree. So we can say absolute values of the expression which involves height of left subtree minus height of right subtree is the balance factor of your ABL tree, and this balance factor must be less than equals to 1. So we can say the balance factor, as you can understand that the balance factor which I am describing is in the form of absolute values. So we can say height of left subtree minus height of right subtree can maximum have 3 values, either 1 or 0 or minus 1, not more than that. Anything less than minus 1 or anything greater than 1 will make the tree make the tree stand into the category of an unbalanced tree. So every time you need to check your balance factor when we are performing the operation of insertion or deletion, because balance factor at that time whenever you perform insertion or deletion may result the tree in a unbalanced state, and unbalanced state is the state where the balance factor is greater than 1 or less than minus 1. Now please recall that balance factor here is actually we can say is associated with each and every node. I will be explaining this in a moment. So we can summarize the balance factor as it is the factor, or it is the quantity which measures the difference in height between the left and right child node with respect to a particular node. So as I was telling you that balance factor is associated with each and every node. So this is the difference of a height of the left subtree and right subtree of that particular node, and it should not be greater than 1 or it should not be less than minus 1. So height of right subtree minus height of left subtree, or you can take absolute and change the terms also. So coming to a balanced tree must therefore have a balance factor of 0 or 1 at any point of time. Now let us understand the concept of balance tree using some pictures. So here on one side you can see there is a balanced tree which is having 3 nodes, 1, 2 and 3. So here we can say the node which is having key value 1 is having balance factor as 0, because the left subtree and right subtree both are having equal height. So the balance factor is 0, a perfectly balanced tree is there. And coming to the next side of the figure, we have seen that here it is given an unbalanced tree. That unbalanced tree is having 1, 2, 3 all the nodes on the right hand side. So here you can say it is a kind of skewed binary tree, which I was talking about just 2 minutes before. And being a skewed binary tree, if we talk about the balance factor of the node 1, that is going to be 2, because there are 2 nodes on the right hand side and we don't have any node on the left hand side. So 2 minus 0 or 0 minus 2 taking absolute is coming to 2. So 2 obviously is greater than 1, so we have an unbalanced tree, while the tree on the other side is having 0 factor, 0 balance factor of the node having key value 1. So that's a balanced tree. Now coming to this unbalanced tree, in this unbalanced tree we have 2 more nodes which are 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 as far as balance factor is considered are not having any problem. Because 3 in any case both the sides are, we can say, of the same side or of the size 0. So balance factor of the node 3 is 0. Coming to the parent of 3, which is 2. So on one side it is having 1 branch on the right side, and on the left side it is having no branch. So again it is going to be we can say the balance factor here is 1. So 1 itself, is a kind of, which is a, we can say, accepted quantity. So definitely here it is 2 and 3 are no problem, but the moment we arrive at 1, which is parent of 2, we have got a balance factor of 2, and which is not in the acceptable range of -1 to 1. So that is representing an unbalanced tree. So with the balanced tree, we have b minus a, 0 is the factor that is balanced, and the node which I have told you, 2 is having the factor, 1 is having the balance factor of 2. So that is there. So now what are we going to do when a balance factor is getting disturbed? So if we can recall the rotation, the process of rotation which we have performed in red black trees, we are able to mingle up that we have selected one node around which the rotation is to be performed. So here that pivotal point of rotation has to be a particular node, and rotation is nothing but, you can say, it is simply a movement of nodes using a particular single node as the pivotal point of the rotation. Now this rotation could be in the left direction or could be in the right direction around the pivot or about the pivot. So we will be choosing one pivot depending upon whatever the situation is. The tree is left unbalanced or the tree is right unbalanced, and then we will be performing some node movements either in the left direction or in the right direction, and that node movement around a particular pivotal node is termed as the process of rotation, or is termed as simply, we can say, rotation. Now a node is going to become the pivot of rotation just to ensure that, just to make certain that the height difference between the child node does not differ by more than 1. That is what the whole agenda is, or this is what we can say is actually a balancing is. So balancing is making sure that height difference between the child node does not differ by more than 1. So this is what we actually need to do in the process of balancing, which involves the technique of rotation, and this technique of rotation is there. Either this can be performed in the left direction or that can be performed in the right direction also. Now as we have seen that there are other self-balancing trees also, which we have seen, like red black trees and ABL trees we are discussing here. So what is the difference between ABL trees versus red black trees? This is a very important point of difference which we need to understand. But before that, what we have covered here is what actually an ABL tree is, what are the applications of ABL tree, or basically in what kind of scenarios we are using ABL trees more. Or ABL trees are used as the preferred data structure, we can say. Then we have seen what do you mean by balance factor, and how are we going to ensure that balance factor. So coming to the insurance of that balance factor, obviously the process is rotation. Now that rotation could be one step rotation, or it could involve a series of rotations in order to maintain in order to maintain the balance factor of a particular node. So either we can perform left rotation, or we can perform right rotation, or another version of rotations could be left right rotation, or the symmetrical case could be right left rotation. So we will be covering these rotations soon. But now, before going into the process of rotations, first let us understand that we have two we have kind of we can say, yes, we are familiar with two self-balancing binary trees, ABL trees and red black trees. So first of all, let us try to understand what is the difference between this ABL tree and red black tree. So ABL trees, when compared with red black trees, ensures the process of lookups faster as compared to red black trees, although they both are self-balancing binary trees, but ABL trees provides faster lookup because they are, we can say, more strictly balanced in the sense their balance factor is in the range of either -1 to range of -1 to 1, while with red black trees this really doesn't happen because we always look for we can say black height there in order to ensure the balance factor, or we always look for the property number 4, if you can recall, of red black trees, which says there can be no two red children. So that property is going to ensure the balance factor, violation of that property is going to ensure the balance factor or the black height. If it is disturbed, then calls for balancing of the tree. But here any insertion or deletion when disturbs the balance factor is going to call, and that range of that balance factor is actually, we can say, small. So there can only be 3 values pertaining to the balance factor of a particular node, which is either -1, 0 or 1. So we can say it is a kind of, we can say, stricter stringent requirement. But if faster lookups are required, ABL trees is the key or is the term. But if we talk about red black trees, they provide faster insertion and removal operations because we can say fewer rotations are done due to relatively relaxed balancing. ABL trees are having stringent balancing, red black trees are having relaxed balancing. So because of that relaxed balancing, not much of the balancing activity is required every time when you perform an insertion and removal. So in red black trees, it provides faster insertion and removal because of the relaxed balancing strategy. Then we can say ABL trees, coming to the structure of node. If we if we can see the structure of node in a red black tree is going to store the color of the node within the structure. So color of the node could be either red or black. So red or black, only 2 values. So what could be the number of bits of information required, bits of memory or storage required to store this information? Is just 1, because we are just talking about 2 values, either 0 or 1. But when we come to the ABL trees, which is going to store the balance factor pertaining to all the nodes, pertaining to each and every node. So balance factor is either 1 or 0 or -1, a complete integer. Thus the required storage for an integer per node is going to be within ABL trees, while if we talk about red black trees, the extra storage requirement is nothing but just 1 bit of information per node, just to ensure just to store the color, either red or black. So I mean it's a possibility, 2 possibilities only, so it could be either 0 or 1. But here we need to store a complete integer per node. So storage requirement, yes, of ABL trees are kind of, we can say, somewhat little more than as compared to red black trees. Then coming to the usage, as I have told you that ABL trees are mostly used in set kind of in memory shuffling of sets or dictionaries, and more lookup intensive applications are required when we talk about the actual usage of AVL trees, while your red black trees are used in most of the language libraries. Like let's say for example, if we talk about C++, we have many libraries like maps, multi-maps and multi-set. So that language libraries require more of the usage of red black trees, while if we talk about the real life application scenario of AVL trees, they are more used into databases where fast retrievals are required. So we can say in terms of node storage, yes, there is a little of difference. One is taking one integer extra, another one is taking just 1 bit extra. Then actual real life scenarios in where they are used, one is used in databases application with some lookup intensive operations. Another one is used in building libraries of standard libraries of many languages. Apart from that, we have AVL trees which are there used for faster lookups because of their kind of say we can say strict or rigid balancing requirement, while the requirement of balancing along with the red black trees is a little more, we can say relaxed, or we can say it is not very rigid. So red black trees provide faster insertion and removal as compared to AVL trees, because the balancing requirements are not that tight. Coming to summing up of this lecture, we have what all we have covered is we have seen the basic characteristics of AVL trees, what self balancing binary trees we have covered till this point. Then we have seen application scenarios of that. We have understood the concept of balance factor or the balancing, and we have on the macro level we have also seen that how it is going to be done, obviously with the help of rotations. And then towards the end we have covered the line of difference between AVL trees and red black trees. So hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Thank you.